Now this video will help you when you study and revise your Arab music, and we usually have a question where we have to say where this is from and why do you say it's from this part of the world, and then that you have to describe musical features. Now if I listen to this piece of music now, I want you to concentrate on the pitch, the use of the scale, the melody, the rhythm, the dynamics, the tempo, the texture, and the instrumentation. So the melody in the Arab world, I call the maqam. The rhythm can be quite complicated. I usually have hand clapping with that, percussion instruments, the dynamics up to the performer. The tempo can change in the middle of songs. The texture can be a monophonic song. We have a lot of heterophony in the Arab world. We can hear call and response maybe. And the instruments that you need to know for this part of the world is the rabab and the oud. So let's listen to these. So I'm going to take that one and we listen to whether we hear some of the features. So the one instrument I play with a bow, that's the rabab, and this one is like a homemade kanun or oud, not a kanun, yeah, oud. That's the one that you need to know. We don't use a lot of, they don't use a lot of notes. It's not a wide range of notes. It's very repetitive. They love to have singing in their songs and music. It's a type of a call and response there. In the Arab world, the music is mainly vocal. There's an important connection between the Arabic language and the music. It has always been used to recognize important events, such as the chanting of the Quran. Often group singing is done like the one that you hear there as a call and response, and includes short melodic phrases that are repeated. This I hear in the music. The melody, Arab melodies are written based on the Arabic modes. So the melody that you hear there is the maqam. Texture, often heterophonic. Attention is paid to ornaments and other subtleties in the melody. The range does not use a wide range of notes, often using a tetrachord, so that's 4 notes, or a pentachord, 5 notes. The rhythm is based on a rhythmical mode called the iqa'at. Hand clapping and percussion instruments play them. So if I carry on now, the structure of a piece of Arab music tends to be complex. Now this is not tucked or shabby music. It can be improvised. The instruments that you need to know for this examination is the oud. So the oud is considered the king of instruments in the Arab world. Oud is a type of a lute whose body is pear-shaped. The oud is fretless and has 11 strings. 10 of the strings are grouped in pairs and tuned to the same note. The final string is tuned to a single bass note. So let's listen to that. So I saw in the back the pear-shaped back of the oud. You can see the double strings there, and the top one is single. Lots of ornamentation. And it sounds like a classical guitar, so this instrument will sound like a classical guitar. The rabab is the Arab fiddle. Depending on the region, It may have 1 or 2 strings. It has a membrane belly. This is normally no fingerboard. As such, the strings are stopped by the player's fingers. It makes a rich, thick sound with a combination of high and low pitches. I even hear a drone in the background. I hear the tabla there. Okay, so that's part of the rabab. There I hear the oud. I have the tabla there in the middle. And I hear the rabab. So you see the way that I play the oud and the way that I play the rabab. One I pluck the strings and the other one I have a bow. What region does this music come from? From the Middle East or the Arab world? You have to know the rabab and the oud. I can hear the tabla there, and if you hear a tambourine, that's a lot of times that I hear the tambourine or the reed in Arab music, and they love the oboe. You know how the rabab is played and you know how the oud is played. The texture of the music can be monophonic, heterophonic. Mention if the percussion or drums are added later, and that because that's part of the texture. Also mention if you hear a drone or an ostinato pattern. The form can be complicated, so if you don't know what to answer there, don't mention anything. But if you hear call and response, mention that. The rhythmical cycle is called the iqa'at. And what is the name of the scale? By now we know that the name of the scale is the maqam. There I have the word maqam. And how is this music typical Arab? They always ask a question like this. Make sure that you know that the Arab music is based on a maqam. Okay, a specific part, those few notes of the maqam that is used, I call the ayan. I can have microtones or quarter tones in the music. There's no harmony. It's repetitive. It's ornamented with pitch bending. It can contain call and response. If they sing together or play together, it can be heterophonic. So they play the same melody but different ways. Mention the specific Arab instruments that you hear and mention the small range of notes, mostly 4 or 5 notes, the ayan of the maqam. Okay, you don't need to know when it's possible in the Arab world to sing. I also have seen previous questions where they ask you what happens after the printed music. That they have the printed music on top and it stops and something else happens. So then you must know your Dr. Smith. Maybe the dynamics change or the mood change, or it goes from a major to a minor, or it's faster, that you can do that. Instruments that you hear, where is this music from, what makes the music Arab, and describe the singing style. Solo, group, male, female, call and response. So to quickly sum up, you need to know the oud and the rabab. In IGCSE music, you don't need to know the specific names of the Arab percussion instruments, but you do need to know about the iqa'at and the important cyclical role of the percussion section in the classical Arab orchestra. So the rhythm we know is the iqa'at. This is played on the drums. We also have hand clapping. Sometimes you hear the tambourine or the reed mention that. I have ornamentation, pitch bending, gliding to notes. The scale is called the maqam. Tones, semitones, microtones, quarter tones. No absolute fixed pitch, that is decided by the performers. A small range of note. Only one ayan of the maqam is used. The melody is a narrow range. Can be a tetrachord or a pentachord. Repetitive and shared amongst the performers. Built up using short phrases ornamented with pitch bending slides and glissandos and trills. The instruments you need to know the oud and the rabab. The improvisation is used most of the times. The texture can be homophonic, monophonic. Mention if you hear a drone or ostinato. Heterophonic performers together, sharing the same music. Percussion instruments can be added. Arab music contains no harmony and no absolute fixed pitch. And mostly typical in the Arab world music, we have heterophony. So good luck with your studies, and I'm sure that if you go through this, you will understand this.